So when we look at the six boys and the six girls, like the eyelets lacing up a shoe,
Yes,
what is the sum total of all these brought together?
it is like lacing up a shoe because it also has a lateral experience. And you cross it over, it has a diagonal experience and
Uh,
another lateral. And it keeps zigzagging up while it's expanding. It's really quite beautiful. And the lessons involved in, we won't get involved in the individual lessons for each child, but let's just look for a moment. Let's climb a ladder of these 12 brothers and sisters, and they're what we call the laterals, is the girl one, boy one opposite, because they're an opposite.
mm,
Now, each one of these also will correspond to universal lessons, but in a brief way, remember how the number one girl was a will oriented, focused, grounded, practical, and I'm going to control myself and the house and the home. This is a very important place to recognize. Opposite that number one girl is number one son. The balancing element of that force of will she has is the humility, breath, orientation of the number one son. So he is a soft, imaginative allowing. Now, when the number one girl and the number one boy actually balance each other, her integrity can expand, which means the mass of her capacity to expand and have integrity increases, and he is a soft oriented breath that actually opens it. Very beautiful to see how the integrity of personal will, which actually is the chalice to receive, is actually dilated by the experience of the soft humility of number one son. We could talk about that relationship for a very long time, but now let's go upward.
and this is also the base of our spine. This is the sacrum. It's the
That's correct.
combination. It's the integrity and the humility
That's
we've
correct.
talked about in other.
There's many other words down there like survival and will and self-image and how I love myself, because you see the first two steps on this sequence of six rungs, the first two have to do with me. They have to do with my self image.
Mm,
They have to do with what I feel about me. Where did I come from? What am I? It's only about self, and eventually it is recognized it's only about me and my relationship to my creator. So the interior self image, I need to be able, whatever self image I have, which is my integrity, when I realize with some degree of humility that I am a soul, even though I can't confirm it by based on any other process, in science, I have to have this leap of faith, which is a one boy element, and the trust, which is a learning to trust the one girl. That dilating experience is, well, we'll be working on the bottom of the spine issue on the first rung of the ladder for a very long time. The next rung up, because both of that first rung is a rung of groundedness. The rung above that on the two girl element, remember she was about feeling oriented privacy. And this has a lot to do with the little girl who looks into the deep well and sees her own reflection because of the light of the moon behind her in the well. So, this is the interior self image of what I actually feel about me. This is the water element. Opposite the water element is the fire element of the two boy. The two boy is, I'm going to go out that door and into the world and bold, forthright life and purpose and a passion. That passion is, what is my personal passion?
mm,
I may have a personal passion to ride that tricycle. I'm going to ride that tricycle. That is me. That's what I'm going to do. and I'm going to get on that thing and paddle with all I can.
Don't mess with me.
Don't mess with me. And if I fall over, I'm going to scream and probably blame someone else.
Get back on the track.
Well, hopefully get back on, right? Fire and water. My personal passion, my self-image,
Okay.
linked into humility and integrity. Those first four elements, first two rungs, they're all about me. What's my self-image? What's my passion?
Right.
Now, because now my self-image is going out into the world at 3. Now my passion's going out in the world is going to bump up against somebody else's passion who has a passion of slingshots, for example, right? Now our two childlike worlds may collide where I'm either going to be doing my passion or he's going to be doing his slingshot. Now we're having a encounter in the social physical world of two passions colliding. And am I going to give up my passion because he has his passion? Am I going to take my self-image at 2, which is like water? Can I bring my self-image out into the social world without anybody else, peeing in my pool or treacherous betrayal of or violating my right to have? Are you going to make waves in my lake? That's where the 2-girl image goes out and wants to expand, but it has to be able to go at the 3. Remember, the 3 boy was the one who wants to discover, to realize, to look, to watch.
Right.
The metal, the sword, the alert, the discovery, right? That discovery aspect is balanced by the 3-girl, the solid, the firm, the wise. So the firmness of the plant kingdom corresponding to the 3rd girl, she wants to codify in social equilibrium, harmony, and justice. On the other side, you have the 3 boy who says, I think I want some things for myself, not for you guys. And the 3 boy is the clever fox who wants to do only what he wants to do, regardless of what the social community group wants to do. That's the 3 boy element. So my aspect of owning my own truth and doing what I want to do versus the codifying, controlling nature of what the community thinks I should be doing. That's 3 girl, 3 boy. Now that corresponds to the 3rd level of the ladder. 3 girl corresponding to the liver gallbladder connection, 3 boy corresponding to the pancreatic, and they are right here in the experience of going into the community from my original self-image. Can I maintain my own true passion as I'm going into the community? Now, as this rises into the 4th level, now we've entered into the place where relationships between people have to do with the heart experience. Can we be friends? The boy with the slingshot and the boy with the tricycle? Can we be buddies and can we look at each other and go, if we work together, we can probably have some very cool stuff happening here in the neighborhood. And that's where they go into the 4 boy brotherhood fellowship. They laugh, they sing, they become buddies, Hey, let's do this. Let's build a racing car together. That way your tricycle now becomes, a little faster. And oh boy, now I can travel behind you with my slingshot and maybe break a few more windows along the way. Or whatever their plan is, right? Because the plan would be what the 3 boy was strategizing about what they would do. 3 boy to 4 boy. The 4 has 2 sides, the arterial function of the heart and the venous function of the heart. The arterial pumps the joy and laughter out, where the venous side gathers it all back without resistance, denial.
So this is the sister and the brother?
That's correct.
The
Remember, the 4 girl one was the transformation from the ugly to the beautiful, or the transformation of the dirty river through the embodiment of the transformation of the ocean that refuses no river. So the Venus side of the heart is the capacity to be able to receive everything that's coming back to the source.
Okay.
Whereas the yang function of the heart is, let's put it back out there
Right,
again.
right.
These are the two parts, and these have to do with social emotional relationships. Number three, community, and the truth side, they combine with what we call the second gate, which is relationships to other people. Then it opens up the next gate at the number 5 and 6, and that gate now corresponds to what are the networks that now unify us everywhere? What is my relationship?
Each gate consists of 2 levels.
That's correct.
2, 4, 6.
That's correct.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes. Right. So these processes, the last one, all it really is remember how we talked about the one girl's integral experience of will? All it is at the 3-girl level is an increase of the size of the will to be controlled. At the 5-girl is, I'm now aware of the existence of the individual integrity of all individual animals of the 5 different frequencies of species. Birds, reptiles, and mammals, and fish, and insects.
Into other dimensions.
Well, she's just primarily aware of, and there's a beauty that goes into, from the social emotional diameter up into the experience of the global sense of connectedness. Now remember, the global sense of the individual integrity of all individual species is balanced by the 5-boy of him only being his integral integrity within the field of integral integrities. And how nobody on that level has the right to interrupt any other living species from having its own integrity. So there can be no division at that level that separates anything other than everyone respecting the free will of every other thing that has a free will or not, has the right to exist. This is a challenging place to be because it means my individual 5-boy integrity cannot be involved in any system that causes pain, suffering, shame, or guilt to any other system. Okay, number 6, belief systems of the highest order. What are the belief systems of the highest diameter? Which usually have to do with religious umbrellas of Muslim, Christian, atheist, agnostic, and religious fanatics, and all these different realms of separation based on class or group or cultural, social, racial categorizations. 6. Remember 6-girl? The silence. Silence is the skin of everything and the mother of everything. 6, spiritual inclusiveness, versus 6-boy, which is the quality of, it's going to be one singular achievement. When it's in its lower case, then my religion is superior to yours, and you have to do my form of the Bible or Quran or Bhagavad Gita. My interpretation is better, your interpretation. Whereas ultimately, the 6-boy has the capacity with the 6-girl to do a union on the highest. 6 boys, 6 sisters. These all correspond to glands, organ sets, systems, 12 body systems, 12 meridians, and so on and so on and so on. All these, whenever you want to take the time to look at it, the line of everything, the timeline. All of these fit inside vertically, inside 3-dimensionally, and they also come down and they go left to right, and